Lindsay and welcome back to Blushing Pink Stitches. Today is Monday the 29th of January and this is Flosstube number 45. I've literally just checked it. Yeah, 45. So I want to say welcome back to anybody who is coming back to watch me again. I really appreciate having you around. I really appreciate the time that you're taking in your day to come and watch my videos and leave me comments and like and all of those things, so thank you. And if you're new, then welcome. I hope you enjoy what you see and you stick around for more content. I have had a few more subscribers definitely since I did my whip raid at the end of last year. So I have lots to talk to you about today, hence the title of the video. So we're just going to jump in basically. I went to the Essex Needles Stitchy Day a couple of weeks ago now. I think it was January the 13th or something like that. So I think it was a few days after I had filmed my last Flosstube, and I picked up an FFO. So this is Raven by Nora Corbett. So I had this framed by Hawkins Hobbies. I dropped it off when they were at the Stitchy Day in November, and then Robert brought it with him in January. So I managed to pick this up and I am so pleased with the result. It just looks super cool. I am normally one for white frames, that kind of stuff, but we went for something different for this one just because I said that I probably wouldn't have this up all year round, although that may change now. And I wanted something to really obviously suit the piece. So we went for this black, I don't know whether you can see it, it's sort of moulded frame, which is so lovely. And then two mounts. So we've got a dark red one to match sort of like the beads in here, and then obviously the purple one to match her dress. And I just love how it turned out. So we are currently deciding whether we just want to put this up somewhere in our house. It's not going to necessarily match the decor to a T, but you know, when you stitch things and you spend so much time and effort on them, and then obviously I've spent money getting this professionally framed as well, it kind of seems like a bit of a shame to only have it up for 1 month of the year and then to put it away again. So yeah, we're kind of deciding where we're going to put it up in the house, whether it be in here or whether it be in one of the other rooms. We're not sure yet. So this was stitched on a piece of, I think it was 28 count linen from Coffee Craft Fabrics. Maiden doesn't name her fabric, so I don't know. So yeah, they're not, she doesn't do repeatable ones basically. But yeah, it's this sort of like lovely mottled chocolatey colour, and it suited the piece perfectly. And then I used all of the called for DMC and beads, and I love how she turned out. I did the skin 2/2 as it was my first fancy lady, and I think it looks absolutely fine. Yeah, so I will find a place for this in the house, and then I haven't actually put this on my Instagram. I was kind of waiting to actually have it up somewhere and then take a picture of it up and then post it on my Instagram. So yeah, it's really nice to have an FFO. It's lovely. Oh, let's put that down here. Okay. Right. Then I have all of my whips to show you. And I had quite a few new starts in January. They just kept rolling basically. And I went with it. So I'm just gonna pick from the pile. This first one, I was meant to start with Laura from I Stitch Birds in February, but one of the plans that she had in January didn't work out, and so she messaged me and said, do you want to start it in January instead? So I said yes. So this is Forest Stream. It's a pattern by Svetlana Cross Stitch. And as always, I will have links to all of the patterns and things that I talk about in the description box below. It's by a Ukrainian designer, and it's a round piece, but it is full coverage, and it does have some back stitch in there. But I saw this, and I can't remember if I saw this on Laura's channel and then bought it, or whether I bought it and then she bought it afterwards. I can't remember anyway. Yeah, so I'm stitching this on a piece of 28 count white even weave. And this is in Pattern Keeper. So I think I stitched on it for 3 days. Let's just go up. And I got 1,702 stitches, and this is at 10.54%. So here is what it's looking at. So I decided to start at the top in the middle. And you can see that lovely sort of light coming through the centre of the trees, and then you can see some of the trees coming in down here. So this is what it looks like. This pattern does have blends in it, so that's how it's creating that really subtle shading. It's beautiful. It's really lovely. I'm stitching this with Royal Broidery threads, so I don't have them all here, but I kitted it up with Royal Broidery threads from my shop, and I think it is looking fabulous. So Laura started in the middle, so hers is obviously looking very different to mine, and it's lovely to stitch something with her. Absolutely love it. So that's the first one. So I mean, I'll say that I'm looking forward to getting back to it, but that is the case for all of my whips and new starts, and otherwise why would you start them? Well, there are some that obviously you start, I think I've discovered what my taste is in cross stitch more over the course of the last couple of years, and so there are some projects that I have UFO'd either because I don't like the material, or I just wasn't enjoying the stitch, because you know your taste changes over time and you discover things and go off in different directions, and there's nothing wrong with that. So this is a whip. I'm stitching this with my friend Sarah on Instagram, and this is the Summer Sampler by Sandy Orton. You can find this on the Cooler Design Studio website. And I worked on this weekend actually. I just had a bit of a hankering to get it out. I was looking through my list of whips, and this will be the second time that I've had this out. So when you saw this last, I had sort of worked my way across the top here and got all of these seashells completed, and then I'd started on this little scene here. So I decided to concentrate on getting that scene done, and that is what I did. So if I just fold this over just so that you can see the little scene, and then I'll show you the whole thing. So this is where we got to. So I think I sort of done some of the sky in that little scene, so I finished that bit off, and it looks like a little scene, but it is deceiving because there are so many colour changes in here in such a little space, and it's obviously full coverage, and then you've got all the back stitch to put in afterwards, and I think there are about 5 different colours of back stitch in there. And then obviously I put this tomato bit in just so I could do the back stitch around that bit as well. So yeah, I got that done basically. And it is very involved, and it does take a bit of time, but once you've actually completed a bit of it, I think it just looks so fabulous. So in my opinion, it's worth the effort, definitely. I think I worked on this for 2 days and got that little scene and the bit of tomato done. So I'll just show you it in its entirety. There we go. So this is the full width of the piece. It's not, and this is again 28 count even weave. So it's not massive width wise. There is a lot going down. So I think next time I pick this up, I'm going to concentrate on completing this little scene here. It's a little scene with a boy and a girl, and they're making sandcastles, which is really sweet. So I'll concentrate on getting that scene done, and then sort of work my way across here afterwards. One thing I will say is that it does have some 1/4 and 3/4 stitches in it, and it's not always 100% clear where to do the 1/4 and where to do the 3/4, if you see what I'm saying. So I was sort of referring to the picture while I was stitching the scene to sort of see, well, should the dominant colour be the green or should it be the blue? Should the dominant colour be the yellow or should it be the blue? And it was sort of a bit of a guessing game at times because this picture isn't the clearest. I did think at one point I should probably look at some pictures of this finished on Instagram and just see whether I can save one of those and zoom into it. But yeah, it would be nice for the mock-up to be a bit clearer, just so that it makes that sort of decision making a bit easier, basically. But there we go. But yeah, I'm super pleased with it. And I posted this on Instagram yesterday, and one of my stitchy friends, Izzy, she was talking about the fact that she wanted to start one. And I said, oh, I'd love to start one with you. So we are in the middle of planning to start the spring one. And I think we're going to start it next weekend. And I'm really looking forward to that. I'm stitching that in DMC. Yeah, all the cord for DMC, 28 count, white even weave. I haven't managed to get this on Pattern Keeper, so I have been stitching it on Good Notes, basically. So I don't know percentage wise where I'm up to. Just have a little bit of tea. Okay. Oh, this is a very tiny start. Yeah. So we've been taking Bella dancing on a Saturday morning since the beginning of January. And Stefan and I alternate the weeks. So one week I will take her and then I'll take her shopping afterwards to do the feed shop and then come home again. So he can have a bit of time on a Saturday morning, and then we do it vice versa. So I decided that I needed something to do rather than just sit there on my phone for 45 minutes because, you know, that's not the best use of my time. So I thought I would get a travel piece sort of sorted out, and it will be a piece that I stitch on a Saturday morning while she's at dancing every other week. So I sort of had a look through my kitted projects and I pulled out this one, which I've had these patterns for a while, and I've had these two patterns kitted up for ages, and I just thought I'm going to start one of them. So this is the January Cottage of the Month by Country Cottage Needleworks. So that's what it looks like. I'm stitching this with all the called for, so it's a 28 count lamb's wool linen from Wishell or Perman, and then it's got some DMC, one classic Colourworks and 1 week's Dyeworks. So I've kitted it up with everything that's called for. I've even still got my needle in here. So should we just take that out so it just dangles? Yeah. So I started in the middle. Just put this behind it for now. With the reef, and that's is that the classic Colourworks? Oh no, it's the Weeks Dyeworks Cocoa, I think. Or is it? I can't remember. Oh no, maybe it's the Pebble Beach from Classic Colourworks. So I started with the reef in the middle, And it's a small start, but I'm only there for 45 minutes. And I went last week with her, and she came out 3 times, one to get her water bottle and twice to go to the toilet. So yeah, I don't get a lot of Stitchy time, but I figured that's much better use of my time, and I might actually get, you know, a cottage done this year if I do that. So that's not the bag for that. Oh, do you know? Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I have been looking for this, and then, yeah, that's stupid, isn't it? Because now I figured it's obviously in my travel stitch, but there we go. So yeah, actually I'm not stitching it with a DMC, I'm stitching it with Royal Broidery threads. So I might show you that every now and again. I'm not going to show it to you every single time I've got it out on a Saturday, because it is going to be slow progress. But that's that. Another new start, oh dear, is the British Bird Stitch Along. This is by Leslie Thier, and I don't have a cover photo for this because it is a mystery stitch along. Part 1 has been released, and I have stitched part 1, and then they come out, I think they come out on the 1st of every month. So you can buy this pattern on the Creative Poppy website, and I'm guessing that you can just jump in whenever you like, and then they will just send you the parts that they've got, because it was a one-off payment, it wasn't like a monthly thing. They also have the American Birds Stitch Along, so you could choose depending on which part of the world you're in or what you fancy. So I chose, I heard about, there was this list that went around, I think somebody put the link on Facebook. There was a list that somebody had posted on a blog of all of the 2024 stitch alongs that were going on that they could find, and it was such a useful list. I'll see if I can find it and put it in the description box below. And I had a sort of scroll down, and I knew about some of them, but then I came across this, and I am a fan of Leslie Thier's work. She is a British designer. She designs for definitely Cross Stitcher magazine. I've got a few other of her patterns. Laura is actually stitching her Birds and Blackwork pattern, and it looks fabulous. And so I thought I'm just going to give it a go. So I picked out a piece of 32 count, I think this is called Vintage Blue even weave. I bought it for something else, wasn't happy with how that other thing was going to look in it, so it went in my stash. And then I pulled it out because I thought it'd be perfect for this, basically, just to kind of have a bit of blue mottling in the background. So this is where we're at. So part 1 was the entirety of the border and then the pigeons. So this is 12 parts, but you can see it's not big. And you just get, so this will be part 2, this will be part 3. So they're not massive. They take a bit of time, a bit more time than you think, because there's lots of colour changes. So for example, in those flowers, there's 3 different colours. So you are changing colours a bit, and obviously then you have the back stitch and the French knots to do. But I just think it looks so good. And you know I love a bird pattern, so it kind of had to be done. I mean, I don't know what I will do with this afterwards, but it doesn't matter to me. My mum was having this conversation with me the other day. She was sort of saying, do you know always what you're going to do with things? And I said, no. Sometimes I have a very clear idea before I start it. Sometimes ideas come to me while I'm stitching it. And sometimes I don't know even at the end. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know, I'm not necessarily stitching all the time to finish things. So. But yeah, it's good to teach Bella about different British birds as well, I think. She does know about some. She has this book upstairs that she's sort of grown out of a little bit now, but it's a book that, it's a sound book about birds. So you click on the button of the page and it shows you what sound that bird makes, and it has like 5 different birds in it. And she did love that book for a while, and she does get it out every now and again. And she likes talking about birds. She loves watching the birds in the garden in the summer. We tend to put out our feeders and things like that. And yeah, she loves watching them. We've got a little bird bath as well. Well, it's not really a bird bath, it's a fountain. But the birds do come and drink from it. So there's that one. This was a new start at the Essex Stitchy Day. So I had bought a load of patterns with me. I'd bought sort of like 3 whips, I think, as well as my stitching shelf. And then I'd bought a few new starts and was sort of going through after I'd done my 100 stitches and my shopping. What should I do this afternoon? And my friend Becky helped me pick this out, basically. I'm not blaming her, obviously not. This is Little Dreamer by Anna Olkitskaya. I'm probably butchering that, I'm so sorry. I've loved this pattern forever. So, it is on 28 count white even weave. And I'm stitching it with DMC. This isn't on Pattern Keeper because it has some quarter and 3/4 stitches in it. And when I was sort of having to put the thread numbers in, I was a bit like, oh, I don't know. Do have this as a saga file though, but I haven't delved into saga yet. So I'm just marking this off on Good Notes. This is where we got up to. So again, I started top middle. Look at those colours. I was sort of alternating between the background and the leaves, and there's quite a lot of block stitching in here, so you can get a lot done in a little space of time. And there are some blends in here as well, so that's why that shading is nice and subtle. I reckon that's probably about 10%. Yeah. So, again, it's not going to be massive. And this is something that I want to put up in Bella's playroom, so I would like to get it done sooner rather than later. Okay. Some of these project bags that I buy on Amazon now they're not quite big enough. You used to be able to get A4 size, or like, no, that's not true. You used to be able to get, because these are A4 size, ones that were slightly bigger than A4. And you can't get those now, which is so annoying. Anyway. Oh, lovely cup of tea. Right. Last new start. I know, like, my friend Becky is laughing at me, and probably other people are as well. Whatever. Okay. Then yesterday, when I'd finished on the summer sampler, I was having a bit of a think about things. And one of the things I was thinking about is it was really nice to finish my quick stitch blue butterfly and get that framed and have that up. So I was thinking maybe I should start another really small full coverage, because I've got some smaller ones, like I've got Tiger Lily Crop, I've got Saucer and Mickey, I've got some other ones kitted up, but they're a bit bigger. Like Tiger Lily Crop is like 48,000 stitches, so it's meant like a couple of year project. But anyway, so I was like, oh, let's pull one out that I could potentially get done quite soon. When we say quite soon, I'm hoping this is going to take me a year to do, but we'll see. This is Quick Stitch Tranquil Tulip by Hannah Disney. I'm sure you've seen this one before, it's quite popular. I'm stitching it on 25 count white even weave with AMO threads. So for those of you that haven't heard about AMO, I heard about it from Jordan over at the Tattooed Stitcher. She said that she bought a full set of it, and I commented saying, what's AMO? I've never heard of it. it's another brand of thread that you can buy from AliExpress. And so I will leave a link to it in the description box. And what I'm planning on doing is another comparison video so that you know, again, if you want an alternative to DMC or you're just interested in what AMO is like, then I will talk through the differences, my opinions on it, etc. So I did want to start a bigger project, and I did buy a full set of AMO from AliExpress. It was very reasonably priced. And so I thought this would be a fantastic opportunity to start using that. Yeah, just to see what my opinions were. So let me just see how much I've done. So I started this yesterday. Scroll back up to the top. And I have done 728 stitches, and it's at 3.05%. So I'm going to work on this a bit more today. But this is where we're up to. So yeah, you can immediately see the details coming in. These are going to be like the green leaves coming off of that tulip. I worked it out. In order to get this done in a year, I need to do about 2,000 stitches a month. So we'll see how that goes. I think I might keep going with this until it's 2,000 because it's not super confetti. There's been hardly any confetti in it so far. Like a couple of these like lighter stitches were sort of ones and twos of things, but then you get these big rafts of colour, so it's really quick to put in. So I could get 2,000 done relatively quickly, so I might try and aim to do that. I mean, I've got 728 stitches done now. By the end of the day I could have over 1,000, and then a couple more days and I could have 2,000. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, put this here. I think I'll leave this up on the table. Oh, I tell you what, I pulled my back this morning, and I don't know how I do these things, but every now and again my back goes. It's probably because I don't do enough exercise, and maybe my back is like a weak spot in my body. But yeah, I was giving Bella her breakfast this morning and sort of leant over and felt like this pull down this bit of my back here. But I always find that when I do things like that, the worst thing to do is sit down or lay down and do nothing. I do need to keep moving around. So I was thinking, oh, you know, maybe I shouldn't film a Flosstube video today because I don't know how it's going to feel. But actually, it's good for me because I'm moving it around. I'm doing things. Anyway, my last whip is, of course, my supersize max colour a stitching shelf. This is artwork by Amy Stewart, and it's another Heaven and Earth Designs chart. I'm going to put a picture up on the screen of the last time that you saw it. And I have had a page finish and gone over the 12% mark since then, and I posted already about that on Instagram. I am now at 87,334 stitches, and this is 12.24%. So I think I'll also put a picture up on the screen of the last page finish that I had, so you can sort of see that in its entirety as well. And then, this is where we're up to. So I started working on this page here, and I've got the lady's face all done, and you can see the fireplace taking a bit more shape here. So that's where we're at with that one. I'm enjoying it as always. I love all the details. My plan with this was to work on it on a Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, like all evening, rather than just my 100 stitches. And I did do that for a couple of weeks in January. But what it meant was that actually I could only not, well, it makes, these are my rules, obviously. When it came to Friday to Monday, when I didn't work, I kind of found that I was only really working on one project, because I do like to work on chunks of things. So, and then, you know, I might get to Sunday and think, right, I've had enough of that now. But then I think, right, well, I've only got one more day off, so I might as well just work on it for another day. And I was kind of finding that I wasn't really rotating through my whips, or, I mean, I've had new starts, but I haven't worked on as much as I normally would. You know, on the one hand, you've got lots of stitches in this. On the other hand, you've got lots of stitches in other things. So which is it that you want? And it varies depending on the day. So I'm not abandoning that idea. I just might do 1 or 2 weeks of that in a month, and then have 1 or 2 weeks, you know, 2 or 3 weeks of alternating through my whips as well. We'll see. But yeah, this is what this one looks like. So yeah, really, really happy. It's just so good. Oh, right. Try and put this back in the bag. And that's again 25 count white even weave. I do my full coverages 1/1 full cross. I don't know what that was. Let's put that down here. Switch on my tablet. So that's all of my whips. Yeah, I had a great few weeks. It was really, really good. So I want to talk about some haul that I've got, and I want to talk about plans for February. So let's just go through the haul. I don't have masses of it. I had this before and I totally forgot to show it to you, so I thought I'd show it to you this time. I had bought, you may remember, a kit from eBay for Sleeping Beauty by Mirabilia, and it came with all of the threads, the beads, and then this 14 count blue, light blue Ada. And I wasn't a fan of the Ada. I wanted something a bit fancier than that. So I bought a fat half of Blutiful. This is by Fabrics by Crafty Kate. So I didn't want anything like really outrageously mottled or anything like that, but I thought the blue would look nice because of, you know, like the sky background. So this is what this looks like. It does have some purpley bits in it as well. It's lovely. So yeah, she's going to be done on there. And I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, I don't know when I'm going to start her, but she's now kitted up with a piece of Blutiful. And I will take the Ada out when I start her and redistribute it. And then in that same order, put that on the floor. I wasn't happy with the fabric that I had picked for Winter White Santa. So this is Winter White Santa by Mirabilia. I was supposed to start this with Lauren in December and it just never happened. I had a piece of, I think it was 32 count even weave, like from one of, I think it was a fabric of the month or something, but it was a fat quarter, and margin wise I wouldn't have got my normal 3x3, and I know that that doesn't always matter, but it was making me nervous basically. And plus the fact that I like doing my Mirabilias and Fancy Ladies and things on 28 count because I just think the beads sit nicer on 28 count. So I bought a piece of, a fat half of True Grey by Fabrics by Crafty Kate. This is the linen. What did I think that was even weave. Can't remember. I liked the linen better, I think, in the True Grey. So I went with the linen. just open this up so you can see. It's just a light grey basically. There you go. Everything will really pop on there, including the white. So yeah, I now feel content that I have more than enough space, more than enough to fit him on, and also the fact that that is 28 count. It just suits my stitching of these kinds of patterns better. And I bought the remaining, I had a couple of Krynics left, I think, and I also didn't have the Whisper thread. I mean, look at how fluffy that is. I've never stitched with this before. I mean, Julie, my friend Julie, calls Krynic Devil's Bum Fluff, but that looks a lot like Devil's Bum Fluff to me. I don't know. Oh dear. If you stitched with Whisper before and you have any advice or opinions, please leave them in the comments down below. So anyway, so yeah, I redistributed the piece of even weave from Coffee Craft Fabrics. Okay, this came today. This is the chart on the leftover threads from Noble Reflections. It's a sunset kit. I can't remember who I saw had this pattern. It may have been Kelly from Kel Stitches. I don't know, I'll have to have a little look. But I've got a bit of a thing for Native American stuff. So somebody was selling the pattern and the leftover threads for a good price. So I thought I would pick that up. One. Okay, and then these. Is it this one? Yeah. Again from the title, I bought some unicorns this month. They came up on, one came up on a Facebook D-stash and the other two came up on eBay. And I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to get them. Because I only have to buy them once. But they were obviously more expensive than I would normally, than you would normally pay for a normal chart or whatever. But I really wanted them. Anyway, so the first two are Mirabilia patterns, and this one is Maidens of the Seasons Part 2. So this is autumn and winter. So I had spring and summer. I think I bought that off Facebook D-stash last year at some point. That is part 1 is an out of print chart, and this is an out of print chart as well, but this one seems to be harder to get hold of. So I have bought, I really want to start these, but I'm going to stitch them separately. So I know some people stitch them all 4 together, but my logic is that I will display them in the season. So I don't want all 4 seasons up at once. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I have bought 2 fat halves of Marbled Rose by Pole Stitches. So if I've got like a mock-up picture of what it looks like on that fabric, I'll put it here. I did save some on my phone. But I saw a picture on, I think it was on Pinterest. And then I think I then found it on like the lady who did it on Facebook. And she did it on this piece of light mottled pink fabric. And it just looked amazing. So yeah, I had a look round, went on the fabric design viewer. And found this particular fabric. So it is on its way to me now. And I think I'm going to kit up spring and I'm going to start spring. And I'm just so excited. So I'm so happy to have this now. I didn't want to start the other one before I had this one. Like, I wanted to be able to do all 4 seasons, to have that opportunity before I started any of them. So I have this. This was my biggest purchase of the month. Touching the Autumn Sky. Oh, I love this. Absolutely love it. I've talked about this as being one of my unicorns before, and this was expensive, but I thought I'm going to get it eventually. So I decided I'm just going to treat myself to it. I haven't decided on the fabric for this one. My latest, what was the choice that I saw this piece of fabric. Mediterranean Blue by Sparklies. And I wanted to know what you thought. Are you going to be able to see that? Maybe I'll put a picture up on the screen here so you'll be able to see it a bit better. What do you think of that fabric? I didn't want the blue to be too light because there are lots of yellows in there and things, and I didn't want those to be lost. Plus it's supposed to be sort of autumn, so maybe the sky ought to be a little bit moodier. And I obviously Mediterranean Blue is probably supposed to be a sea colour, but I don't know. What do you think? Or do you have any other suggestions of a fabric that would look good on this? I mean, this is stitched with Misty Blue linen from Zweigart, but it doesn't really have anything to it, and I wanted to get something a bit more special. So yeah, if you've got any thoughts on that, let me know. And then the last unicorn was a kit from Dimensions. It came up on Facebook D-Stash, and the lady who was selling it said that she was open to offers as well, and I just jumped on it. So this is Sweet Nectar. When this comes up on eBay, this is so much more expensive than I paid for it, so I am so grateful to have this kit. And the lady who sold it to me was super sweet. She sent it so quickly, and she was like, oh, I just want it to go to somebody who's actually going to stitch it because I don't think I'll have time. She doesn't know how much stash I've got. But look at the hummingbirds. And then all of those gorgeous flowers. Oh, it's just so lovely. Yeah. So this is, like, you can see from the packaging, it's an older kit. Does it say? This is from 1999. So yeah, and it comes with, does it say what it comes with on here? 18 count ivory Ada. All of the threads, which I'm guessing you have to sort, yeah. And then obviously the pattern. I'm thinking I should probably start this soon. I mean, so many new starts, so little time. But whatever, I'm having fun. Okay, let's pull this out. Let's just pull the rest out. Just go through the pile. One of the things that I bought on the Essex Stitchy Day was the rest of the patterns for the Welcome to the Forest series. I bought a couple from an Instagram D-Stash. I thought, well, I might as well just get the rest. And Marnie's Mixed Bag was having like half price on her patterns. So this is the Forest banner. Forest Deer. Forest Raccoon and Friends. Blue Forest Cottage. And Pink Forest Cottage. And you can get like a free border on the Country Cottage Needleworks website, and when you look at the stitch count, stitching them all together, it fits on a fat quarter. So I'm really happy about that. So I got those. I got my next one in the Fabulous Houses series. This is the castle. That's quite cool. So I'm getting those on auto ship from Patchwork Rabbit. I bought some fabric. Oh, hold on a second. I think this may be too dark. I bought some fabric from Maiden at Coffee Craft Fabrics. So this is 28 count even weave in this lovely blue colour. But I think that may be a bit dark, because it does have some dark blue down here that's maybe going to get a bit lost. I mean, what do you think? Glare. Yeah, maybe this is a bit dark. Anyway, I love the colour of this, so I just got it. I'd had this kit. My mum bought me this kit for Christmas last year, or no, the year before, 2022. I didn't like the original fabric that came in the kit, because it wasn't, although it was the called for, it wasn't light like it was in the picture. So I did have a piece of 28 count even weave from Coffee Craft Fabrics in there, but again, I wasn't happy with the border allowance on it, plus the fact that it's kitted up with dinky dyes, and like I think it's just dinky dyes, and you just get on the card exactly what you need. I bought this, well, Mum bought it from, gosh, where was it? God, I can't remember now. Does it even say in here? It's not going to say, is it? It's a shop in the UK that does, I don't know, North Cape Needlecraft maybe? Anyway, so they give you exactly what you need in terms of the dinky dyes. And the original, the pattern calls for 32 count, and it's 1/1. So I didn't really want to do it 28 count because I would have to do it 2/2, otherwise the coverage would be so rubbish. And then I was worried about the borders as well. So I figured, I saw this piece of 36 count linen on that day, and I thought that would look really nice as the background to this. And I'm not somebody who stitches on a lot of 36 count, but it's beautiful, and I figured we'd give it a go. And actually 1/1, not 1/1, 1/2 on 36 count, I think would look better in terms of coverage than 1/2 on 32 count. So I got that. And I swapped that bit of fabric out and put that other bit back in my stash again. So hopefully now that that's now the third bit of fabric in this kit, and hopefully the one that I use. And this one, I just liked it because of the colour. This is the 28 count even weave again. It's like a nice dusty pink. Who doesn't like that? And then Maiden also had the kit that I'd ordered for Christmas Parade. This is by Cottage Gardens Samplings. Look at those little animals following Santa. Look at how cute Santa looks. Amazing. So I bought the kit from her. So I went for 28 count even weave. This is this nice dark grey colour. The white will look fabulous on that. And then all of the called for DMC. It's just charted in DMC. Which I wouldn't say is unusual for Cottage Garden samples, but you usually get a couple of other speciality threads. My tummy is really rumbling. What is it? That's not the time. 1:10. Let's have a little bit of sip of cold tea. Okay, last couple of things, just some patterns. So I saw somebody stitching this on Instagram, and I've been looking at these stamps for a while, and I just thought I would get one. This is the Disney Castle stamp from Luna Fox Stitch. This designer does a load of different stamps with all different themes. There are Harry Potter ones, there are Disney ones, there are Marvel ones. You know, there are anyway, there are loads of them. I love the castle one, and this is the one that the person was stitching on Instagram. I can't think who it was now, so sorry. But they're really inexpensive to buy as well, so I thought I'd get that, and that'd be a nice little thing to kit up. This was something that I think I bought either early in December or in November, and Laura messaged me about this, and she was like, oh, wouldn't this go lovely with your candy house? And of course I looked at it and I had to get it. So this is Ballerina. It's by Amity Cross Stitch, and the illustration is by Yaroslava Panina. But she's lovely, and she's right, it will go nice with the candy house. So you could have the candy house and then the ballerina in the front of it. So yeah, there we go. I bought that, and then I didn't print it off, so I forgot to show it to you. And then I did another 123 stitch order because some beads came back in stock. I didn't really need to, but I'd been eyeing these patterns for a while, and so I just thought, oh, I guess get these patterns as well. So this one is Hot Chocolate at Window by Le Petit Crow. I'm completely butchering that French, I'm sorry. I'll leave a link to it in the description box below. I saw somebody post about stitching the Halloween window, and I have that on my wish list. And I couldn't find anywhere that you could get these in the UK. So they're on my 123 stitch wish list. But then I had a little look at other patterns that they did, and they did this hot chocolate window. And I thought, actually, I need to get that first, because look at how cute it is. And then this is one that I'll probably kit up quite soon. Again, I don't remember how I came across it. I don't know whether somebody was stitching on Instagram. But again, it's a Stony Creek pattern, and I really love Stony Creek stuff. And this is like a whole series, but this is the Christmas Snow Friends banner. And they do one with like the word hope on it, peace, joy, Noel. There's like a whole series of these, but I really liked the Christmas one. And the Christmas one was out of stock on the 123 Stitch website for a while. And then I think that's the reason, because the beads were in my cart on 123 Stitch, but I thought I'm not just going to do an order for some beads. And then this came back into stock, and I thought, right, okay, so I'll get this and the beads and the hot chocolate window. So this requires, well, actually, a lot of Stony Creek patterns are in Anchor, which I'd never stitched with. But anyway, there's DMC conversion. Then it requires some rainbow blending thread, and it requires some buttons. So I haven't looked for the buttons yet, but maybe I can find those on the 123 Stitch website as well. We'll see. But yeah, there's like buttons that are like little carrots for the snowman noses, and there's like little stars. So let's see if I can find a star. So like this Christmas tree down here has a little button star on it. But this is so cute. This would be a great like decoration to have. So yeah, I got that. So that's everything haul wise. It's just about enough. And then I wanted to talk to you about my plans for February and before you go. So I'm going to be participating in Full Coverage February. It is a theme. Stitch along is the wrong word. Event, that's a better word. Hosted by Colette, the Highway Stitcher. And is it also hosted by Sarah Stitching Mummy? I think it might be. Anyway, I participated in it last year, and obviously your focus in February is on full coverage, and I love full coverage. So what I plan on doing in February is getting 1,000 stitches into as many full coverage projects as I can. And I think I have 1,000 stitches, you know, across non-work days take me 2 days, but on work days it take me a lot longer than that. So I created a wheel on my Spin the Wheel app that just has my full coverage patterns in it. I didn't put a stitching shelf in there because I'm just going to be stitching on that every day anyway, and I need to put Quick Stitch Tranquil Tulip in there. But my plan is to spin the wheel, let the wheel pick which full coverage I'm stitching on, and then however many days it takes me to stitch the 1,000 stitches, that's what I'll do. And we'll see how many whips I can get done by the end of the month. And I may reward myself with starting another one of Amy Stewart Shelves. I bought some fabric for Amazing Animal Kingdom, and my lovely friend Siske on Instagram and Facebook is stitching it, and I think she's just finished the 4th page, and it just looks so good. And it's like one of my favourite shelves of hers, and I do have a few now. So I may reward myself with that if I get a certain number of 1,000 stitches done. What do you think? What do you think the number should be? 10? More? I don't know. Again, suggestions in the comments down below. So yeah, that's the plan for February. I may get to a certain point in the month and think I've had enough of full coverage now. And that's okay. I'll stitch on other things. It's also, I don't know whether Dawn is doing this again this year, but it's sort of Fancy Lady February as well. And I did have a plan from last year to start that Native American pattern. I think that's Joan Elliott as well. Do I have that close? Hold on. Yeah. Oh. So originally I was kitting it up from this book here. Yeah, Joan Elliott's Native American Cross Stitch, and it's the lady in here. No, that's the gentleman. She's going to be the first one, isn't she? Yeah. Anyway, Indian Maiden. But then somebody was destashing a kit from Designworks of the exact same thing, and it came with all of the thread and the Ada. I didn't buy another, no. And some of the beads were quite like that. There were a couple of Magnifica beads in here, which are obviously more difficult to get hold of now. I may swap out this Ada. Hadn't thought about that, because in here it's like more of a oatmeal-y rustico kind of Ada. So I may get a piece of that. I have to sort all of these threads out. But I got the kit because it came with all the threads and because I got all of the beads basically. So yeah, the plan was to start that in February, but I don't know now. Anyway, we could do that. That may be a plan. Should spit that on the floor. Okay, little bit of a life update before you go. Yeah, it's been work and, you know, the long days of January, as it has been for everybody. I'm not sure whether I had this conversation with you before, but I have been concentrating on what we're eating a little bit more in the house. So I watched a programme called You Are What You Eat, the Twin Experiment on Netflix. I'm sure I talked to you about this, so I apologise if I'm repeating myself, but basically they got one twin to eat a vegan diet and the other twin to eat a omnivore diet, and then compare the results, and the results were shocking basically. So it did make me think about what I'm eating, what we're eating as a family, and so I had made some changes. I'm not saying that I'm going to be a vegan, because I think to make that switch so quickly is difficult anyway, and I don't know whether I do want to be fully vegan. but I have been eating vegan lunches, vegan yogurts. I've been drinking almond milk, so I have almond milk with my cereal. I haven't made the switch yet with my cups of tea, but I've just been starting to make little changes because I think that'd be a better way for me to switch things over a bit more. Yeah, and I've been enjoying that so far. We've been a bit more conscious about snacks that we're having in the house. Yeah, and I've just been thinking about that kind of idea. So that's something that's been happening here. I've also been thinking a lot about my skincare. Since I've had Bella, I don't wear makeup anywhere near as much as I did before. And actually, the older that she gets, the more I don't wear it. Like I'm not wearing it again today. And when I first started making videos, that would be like a massive no-no. But I feel like, well, this is me. I don't need to wear makeup all the time. I've had this conversation on here before. And that's absolutely fine. Like I've sort of stopped wearing it to work all of the time. Yeah. And concentrating a bit more on my skincare. So I signed up for something called Skin and Me, which is a monthly subscription of a product that you put on when you've cleansed of a night time. You can then put night cream on the top of it, but you don't have to. And it has active ingredients in it that are there to correct some of the issues that you're having with your skin. So you do like a whole questionnaire on their website. You talk about what your skin is like, what your goals are with your skin. You have to send in some pictures of your face without makeup on, and then the prescription team look at those and they decide what active ingredients are going in your subscription bottle every month. And it's like a little vial thing that you click, and you click it around, and a perfect amount of it comes out for that particular evening that you're putting it on. So I've been trying that for the last 3 weeks, in the hope that my skin will improve. And I don't think there's like masses wrong with my skin, but I wanted to concentrate more on my skincare and just making sure, yeah, that I'm taking care of my face basically. So yeah, that's what's been going on around here. Like I said, Bella's been going to dance lessons. She has been enjoying those, although we have had some tears going into dance and preschool recently. Not when I drop her off to preschool, but when Mum drops her off. But she's had a little bit of a cold, and I figured, oh, you know, she's probably just a little bit sensitive. And they go through phases, don't they? And I always knew that there would be bumps along the road in terms of her not always being 100% happy going in, because she's a human, right? So, but yeah, so I'll see what she's like this week. But yeah, so that's kind of it. We're just over an hour. I'm going to go. I'm going to go have some lunch. I've got leftover sausage casserole and pasta from last night, which is calling my name at the moment. I will edit this later on and upload it overnight. Sometimes that's what I normally do. So I will film on a Monday, edit that sort of afternoon, evening, upload it overnight, hope that by Tuesday morning it's all uploaded, but sometimes it isn't. It's so slow. And sometimes I have to wait until Wednesday to release it when I've done like the description box and stuff, because it's taken like the whole of that time to upload. Anyway, yeah, so this will either be up tomorrow or Wednesday, and then I will see you in a few weeks' time, hopefully with some really good progress on my full coverage pieces. So I hope you're all having a lovely day, and I want to wish you a good couple of weeks. just in general, but also with your stitching. If you want to leave me any comments or questions down below, that would be fabulous, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.